Hey there, David here, and I'm excited to bring you the first lesson in the Lean for Life nutrition coaching program, all about mindful eating. So these lessons will accompany the habits each fortnight to help you understand, what exactly we mean by the habit, why it's important, and how you can really maximize it and make the most out of the program. And that's what I'm here to talk about today, of course, and it's going to be really good. It's not going to take long to go through all this stuff, so it's going to be really just all killer, no filler, I like to say. Straight to the point stuff that you can take in, apply, and if you combine that with really making a decision to track these habits using that app, be consistent with it, stay focused on each one, each week, each fortnight, they're going to build on each other. You're going to build good habits, and you're going to have a foundation set up for long-term great eating habits, long-term success, without just having to follow, a meal plan for the rest of your life and being able to enjoy yourself. And that's really the bigger picture for this program. That's why I love it. And I'm looking forward to running through all this stuff with you. So lesson number 1 is 1 lesson per week, so 2 per habit. Now, we've already seen from, you would have seen originally that the habit this week is just getting more mindful with your eating. And this lesson is going to be all about what is mindful eating? What do we mean by that? What does that look like? So this is what mindful eating isn't. As you can see, this lovely lady indulging in a tub of ice cream and a few other goodies. If she eats all that, I'll be very impressed. Mindful eating is certainly not going over the board. It's the opposite of that. What is it? It's about consciously and slowly eating each meal. Okay, so making a conscious decision to put a focus on what you're actually eating. 2 ways though, both in terms of thinking about the choices you are making. So in other words, making sure you chose to eat it, you made some thought behind that. And then when you're eating it, slowing down and actually concentrating on the food as you eat. And we'll go into more specifics on what that means in a second. But why is this important? Before we even talk about exactly what it is, you got to know why this is important. Firstly, when you eat more mindfully, you're going to feel fuller. You actually realize you're eating and your body will take that food in, and because it's slower, you'll feel fuller. We hear that digestion, feeling full rather, takes about 30 minutes for actually your brain to realize you're quite full, and that's why we overeat, and then 20 minutes later we have a food baby and we're like, oh god, how did I eat so much? It takes time to feel full. So by eating more mindfully, a little bit slower, you'll actually feel full. You digest things better. So when you're stressed out, your body cannot digest food as well. So if you're rushing down your meal and not really thinking about it, your body's not going to digest as well. In fact, just by thinking about food, you begin the digestive process in your body. Saliva starts and your body gets ready to digest food. So you're going to digest it better. It might even help out with those sort of issues. Now, it's going to naturally balance our calorie intake without even trying. So by eating more mindfully and getting fuller and digesting better, you're going to naturally eat less. And that's really good because it means you don't have to focus too much on the specifics of that with the calorie intake. By eating more mindfully, you will eat less automatically. And finally, you're going to enjoy it more because you're finally taking it in and really appreciating the food you're eating. So you'll actually enjoy eating even more. Here's what happens though when we don't eat mindfully. We easily overeat without realizing. Okay, calories just creep up on us if we're just picking at food, not really taking it in. We overeat without realizing. Secondly, opposite to before, you get bad digestion. So when you're stressed out, you are not in a rest and digest mode. There's really quickly on this, there's 2 sort of main types of modes you're in. One is a sympathetic mode in your sympathetic nervous system. This is your fight or flight mode. Pretty much just think you're doing stuff. So when you're training, exercising, or stressed out, you're in sympathetic mode. And your body cannot digest food very well in this mode. When you relax and eat slower and you're a little bit more calm, you're in what's called parasympathetic mode, and this is called the rest and digest mode. So as the name suggests, it helps you digest food better. So a little bit of background info on that without going too detailed. You feel more overwhelmed. When you slam down food and then have to go throughout your day without really stopping to eat, it just adds to the overwhelm. You just slugged food and you're back into the life. So it makes you feel more overwhelmed, and then you miss the enjoyment of eating, of course, opposite to before. So a lot of reasons why we need to mindfully eat, because you don't want to be like the kitty here. He regrets nothing, but you don't want to be like the kitty. So what does mindful eating look like? Firstly, there's a few things, the T's of mindful eating. I meant to say the 3 T's, I think it's gone. Mindful eating, time. So how long do you actually take when you're eating? Eating slowly and gradually, and taking that time when you eat, not rushing it down. It's probably the main one. And it's important to understand, as it says here, we get into this habit of convincing ourselves we don't have time to eat slowly, that everything in our day is such a rush that we just don't have this extra minute, this extra 5-10 minutes to do things. In reality, time is just whatever you make priorities for. All time management is managing yourself. Ultimately, if you say to yourself, look, this is important to me and I want to enjoy my food, I want to get all those benefits we talked about, then you need to slow down when you eat and it won't sabotage your day. So there's no specific time frame that you should be focusing on with eating, but I think 10 to 20 minutes is a rough guide on eating a main meal versus maybe a snack. but don't get obsessive with that time. It's just about understanding that the length of time you eat is a great reflection of whether you focused on your food or not, or whether you ate it mindlessly. Taste. Staying conscious of the taste. Okay, food tastes good. You should enjoy it. So you need to slow down enough and be mindful of the taste, and you'll get the benefit. You'll actually enjoy it more and appreciate it. So you need to just take a second and go, cool. Am I actually thinking about the taste of this meal, or am I eating it without even realizing it? Because that's a great way to overeat, like we talked about, and not appreciate it. So taste is one of them, and then texture. All food's got its own texture. It's very unique, and again, we like different textures of food. But again, just take a second to think about, am I enjoying the textures? Is it chewy, crunchy, soft? What is it like? You would be amazed at what happens when you stop and think about this stuff. It may sound simple, but it's effective. It's very effective. And it's definitely something that a lot of people struggle with this. What mindful eating doesn't look like. Standing, moving, or driving. So when we're multitasking and trying to eat, it's hard to be conscious. If you're in the car and you're trying to eat something, you're generally going to focus on the driving, on the radio, all other things. Same as if you're standing around and eating, or if you're moving about and trying to eat again on the run, the focus goes towards something else. So if you're trying to make everyone else's food and you're eating as you're walking around the kitchen, you're not really going to take that food in. Distracted eating. So this could be a different ways, or even similar to before, but you could be watching TV, playing some sort of game, replying to emails frantically, just on your phone. I know I go on my phone, I'm eating, and I'm more focused on what's going on my phone, and that's something I struggle with, and I've got to really force myself to get away from it. But it just takes your focus away from the actual eating. Now, I will say, look, you can do these things while eating. Don't get me wrong. If you've got to do a few emails while having lunch, it's okay. If you watch TV with the family while eating, it's not the end of the world. It just takes that extra bit of focus to realize you can be watching your favorite TV show. Before you know it, you've eaten your dinner, you're still hungry, and you go to the pantry, and that's often why. And the social eating challenge. Okay, social eating is challenging not only for food choices, but in the way we eat, because we typically aren't as mindful, because there's some conversation, there's some laughter. Maybe there's even alcohol. Alcohol is going to make it harder to eat mindfully, because we know how we feel when we drink a bit. So you need to be careful. And look, again, you can do both. You just got to make a decision to. Okay, you've got to think about the time, taste, and texture, and just put that emphasis on your food, and not just go, cool, eat, talk. Where the hell did that entire bowl of pasta go when I said I was just going to have 3/4, or now I'm still hungry. Let's grab the dessert menu. Let's go another glass of wine. If you'd slowed down and just thought about the food as well as main conversation, you would have realized that you got fuller quicker and you enjoyed it more at the same time. So you can do both, but don't let it detract too much. So your step, of course, this is week 1 of the fortnight. So what you got to do is set up your daily habit tracker in the Way of Life app. That was on the overall habit sheet that you got sent. Now keep the principles we just talked about in this lesson in mind. You now know what it is mindful eating looks like, what it doesn't look like, and the different practical, physicalities of that in terms of the situations. So really understand that. Keep that in the front of mind awareness for you until it becomes less, effortful. And there's gonna be questions at the end of this fortnight to review and build your own little understanding of yourself. So if you do have any habits or thoughts, patterns you pick up, make a note of them. Make a note of them, because you're gonna learn and you're gonna build this foundation for yourself. And you're gonna know that when you're not quite, in the right mindset for eating healthy, what does this specifically look like? When is that in your day that happens? And then you'll know straight away how you can change that, and you're going to be set up to be lean for life, as the name says. So enjoy your conscious eating, like this little doggy here. I couldn't help but put this photo in. It was great. Pizza in moderation, of course, and let's not focus on the food choice, but enjoy, the food more, eat more consciously. It's such a great first step, and you would be amazed at the results I've seen just from doing this and realizing, what you learn about yourself. So good luck with it. Of course, we're here for support. Reach out. The support email. If you want to chat, we'll see you in the gym. And guys, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next lesson.